Good morning. Here's your U.S. news briefing for Wednesday, August 5th. Russian strike kills at least 17 as Zelensky says interceptors could have saved lives. The Russia Defense Ministry said it had struck logistics hubs and supply centers in Kiev and the surrounding region. $200,000 worth of supplies donated to PB schools. Anthropic AI created fake profiles and impersonated people in attempted hack. The UK's AI Safety Institute said recent behavior from Anthropic and OpenAI models was malicious and unprecedented. Wispr Flow launches a Granola-styled meeting notetaker. Wispr Flow's new terms of service indicated will introduce a notetaker that generates meeting summaries and action items. Sources: Bears give RT Wright historic extension. The Bears and star right tackle Darnell Wright reached agreement Tuesday on a historic 4-year, $116 million extension that includes $93 million guaranteed, sources told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler and NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Disney, TikTok strike content sharing deal aimed at boosting short-form programming on Disney+. Disney is going long on short-form content. The entertainment giant struck an alliance with TikTok that will have creators on the popular quick-hit video service making shorts tied to characters and stories from Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, FX, and more. Stine Goya Copenhagen Spring 2027. Afghan boxer appears in court in connection with death of Scottish woman. Sharifa Madzai, 26, is being held in connection with the death of Elizabeth Jane Ross from Edinburgh. Family throws surprise birthday party at Eagles tailgate for Vietnam vet. SpaceX shares sink after first earnings report reveals huge AI spending plans. Elon Musk told investors that people were underestimating his company. Ted Lasso returns at an important time for Apple TV. 2026 is shaping up to be an excellent year for Apple TV. Apple's streaming service has built out an impressive slate that spans returning favorites like Silo and Sugar to all new hits including OnlyFans-inspired dramedies, terrifying comedies, and paranoid tech thrillers. But the most important release might be a feel-good sports sitcom. Even in loss, Skubal plenty good in LA debut. Two-time Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal didn't have his best stuff in his Los Angeles debut Tuesday, landing only 51 strikes on 85 pitches, but, at the same time, the Dodgers offered little run support as they dropped a 5-1 outing to the Chicago Cubs. Disney and TikTok Inc. wide-ranging deal, videos from tech platform will be added to Disney+. Creators on TikTok will get access to Disney photo and video assets if they opt into the program, with their videos living on both platforms. Institution by Galib Ghassanov Copenhagen Spring 2027. Unrest mounts in Kashmir as Pakistani security crackdown stokes reform movement. Pakistani forces blockade Kashmir as protesters demand electoral reforms and increasingly revolution. Newsbrief, August 4th primaries, U.S. munitions depleted, mRNA flu vaccine. U.S. missile stockpiles are dwindling amid Iran war. A look at the results from Tuesday's primary elections. FDA will soon decide whether to approve the first mRNA flu vaccine. Farmers warn shoppers face smaller and more expensive vegetables due to hot weather. This year's harvest could be the worst on record due to the exceptionally dry spring and summer. SpaceX is coming for T-Mobile, @ #038, T and Verizon. SpaceX is preparing to build a terrestrial mobile network to acquire quite a few of the customers now subscribed to T-Mobile, @ #38, T, and Verizon. The message to compete head-to-head with the U.S. carriers was delivered by SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell and CEO Elon Musk during the Q and #38, a section of the company's first earnings call. Yanks Lombard homers in debut, joining brother. George Lombard Jr. became the third youngest Yankee to homer in his first game, and he did it on a night when his little brother also went deep in his own professional debut. Inside Eye is Another, the true-ish story of the man who massaged a Nazi and maybe saved lives. Director Felix Randau stars Claes Bang, Valerie Pachner, and Suzanne Wiest on turning Heinrich Himmler's Masseur into a Locarno psychological thriller about truth, ego and the hunger for validation. Pisces Daily Horoscope. February 19th to March 20th. Perez Hilton recovering in hospital after reports he self-harmed during livestream. Miami police told U.S. media outlets the celebrity blogger had been safely recovered from his home. Appalachia's black lung rates highest in nearly 50 years as miners' protection stall. Rates are now as bad as the 1970s, with thousands of miners sick and dying. Mining experts blame toxic silica dust, now more common in mines. Here's what to expect when Disney reports earnings before the bell. Disney reports its fiscal third-quarter earnings before the bell Wednesday as the market awaits further updates and changes under newly minted CEO Josh D'Amaro. Don't screw this up, Marvel. In less than a week, Spider-Man, Brand New Day raked in $1 billion worldwide and had the biggest box office opening weekend in Hollywood history. Donic's ex-fiancé pulls child support petition. Luka Donic's ex-fiancée Anna Maria Galtz is withdrawing her petition seeking child support and attorney fees from the Lakers star. Ted Lasso Season 4 is both a promising reboot and a tedious sequel. TV review. Anyone with even the vaguest understanding of the profit motive can understand why Apple TV sports comedy Ted Lasso has returned 3 years after its poorly received and #160, yet still widely watched third season seemed to close the book on its story. The new rules for independent brands selling in China. A refreshed playbook for competing in the world's most dynamic fashion market. Police raid Starbucks Korea headquarters over Tank Day fiasco. People have filed complaints against Starbucks for allegedly making light of the deadly Gwangju uprising. Michigan Senate Democratic primary too close to call, 5 takeaways. The marquee race for the Democratic Senate not in Michigan was too close to call early Wednesday morning, stretching out a primary race that spotlit Democrats' fight for the future of the party. Abdul El-Sayed was leading Representative Haley Stevens, D., by roughly 2 points as of 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, according to Decision Desk HQ, DDHQ. GM, Chinese automaker extend joint venture for 20 years despite geopolitical tensions with U.S. GM said the deal will focus on domestic sales of Buick and Cadillac models in China and exporting Chevrolet products built in China for non-U.S. markets. Elon Musk repeatedly one-upped his execs on SpaceX's first earnings call. Musk kept inflating the already big promises being made by SpaceX CFO Brett Johnson and Gwynne Shotwell on the company's first call. Freeman, fighting Irish focus on opener, not CFP. After missing the college football playoff at the end of last season, Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman wants his players focused on winning now, and that starts with the Fighting Irish's opener on September 6 against the Wisconsin Badgers at Lambeau Field. Ted Lasso review, Season 4 of Apple's hit soccer dramedy struggles to find anywhere interesting left to go. More than 3 years since it went off the air, the series returns with Jason Sudeikis chipper American taking a new post as head coach of Richmond's inaugural women's team. How to build your personal brand. When applying for a job in fashion, your personal brand, cultivated on social media, can be just as important as your resume. Trump says Iran will be hit very hard if Hormuz Strait not open soon as oil prices fall. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent both announced talks had progressed to allow shipments to resume. America is arguing about homeschooling. The data tells a different story. The honest answer to who homeschools in America is a lot of different people, for a lot of different reasons, with a lot of different results. How tech is helping in the battle against wildfires. Tech is being used to watch for wildfires, but firefighters are still needed to put them out. Lucid's turnaround plan hinges on $1.4 billion in cash savings, robot access. Lucid's new CEO Silvio Napoli listed 4 must-win priorities, including the successful launch of its midsize EV, finishing a factory in Saudi Arabia, cutting expenses, and robot access. That's it, Lesnar, 10-time WWE champ, retires. Brock Lesnar, a 10-time WWE World Champ and former UFC heavyweight champ, said his match at WWE SummerSlam was his last and that he's retiring from combat sports. The Blacklist was a Plague Locarno retrospective. Curator Ehsan Koshbak talks about what we can learn from the intolerance of the past. One of the most shameful episodes in Hollywood's history is being examined in a new retrospective to screen at the Locarno Film Festival, read in #38, Black, Hollywood Left and the Blacklist. Claire Stapleton on Don't Be Evil, her memoir about loving and leaving Google. I think the lesson isn't that Google is uniquely bad, I think it's that institutions are not people, says Stapleton. Armed man arrested near Trump's golf course ahead of president's visit. The arrest happened shortly before President Trump was due to host a fundraising dinner at the Coastal Golf Course in California. Bouchard, Hines to clash for open James seat in competitive Michigan House race. Former prosecutor Christina Hines is projected to win the Democratic nomination for Michigan's 10th congressional district, according to Decision Desk HQ, setting up a closely watched battle against GOP nominee Mike Bouchard in November. Incumbent Representative John James's, Republican Michigan, decision to run for governor has left the Macomb County District without an incumbent for the first. That's your briefing for today. Have a great day.